career officers to help him set up these meetings. The State Department should be kept out of this, in my judgment.
Ruth Marcus, you and I have covered a number of administrations. I've never known what the politics was of any of the national security professionals or CIA professionals whom we've dealt with.
And absolutely, and one question that I would like to see the president ask is, what is it that makes you say that this is a partisan attack? What is your basis for saying that? Because the presumption should be, based on what we've all known of the people who work for our government, that these are not partisan positions.
I've never heard a president before say this person at the CIA or this person at the FBI is a Democrat or Republican until we got into the Mueller investigation.
Until now. But I really want to underscore, we do not know where the facts are going to develop, but this feels to me, and we've had a lot of scary moments during the Trump presidency, but as grave a moment, as grave a constitutional moment as we have experienced during this presidency, both in terms of the potential for conduct by the president that would be extraordinarily damaging to the his own presidency and the interests of the United States, and in terms of the potential showdown between or not showdown between the Congress and the president. And for the president to prevent the information from this whistleblower from going forward, and for Congress, and I include in Congress the Republican majority Senate, to accede to that, I think under these really dangerous and questionable circumstances would be a terrible dereliction of duty.
Rick Tyler, as we're watching the East Room, the President and the Australian Prime Minister are about to come in. This is a state visit. We just saw the First Lady. That's why she is there for this news conference. There'll be a state dinner tonight. These questions of politics and allegations, suspicions of politics infecting our foreign policy at a moment of grave importance, as we see both leaders walk.
Remember, it's been reported that this intelligence official is a high-ranking intelligence official, so the president would know who the person is. So I don't know how he would call him partisan in the first place. But I want to touch on something very quickly about what Michael said, and that is congressional responsibility or oversight. The Republicans, we know, aren't going to conduct oversight, but the Democrats have really gotten themselves in a muddle on this congressional oversight, and they need to get serious about it.
And as we hear the President introducing the Australian Prime Minister, we'll take a little bit of this and then return for the Q&A. Let's watch.
Country and a brilliant ally. We just spent a lot of time together with our representatives, and they get along very well, and we're doing a lot of deals. And we talked military, we talked trade, we talked about everything you can talk about. And we came to the same conclusion, I think, in every case. But I just want to say it's an honor having both of you here. Thank you very much. You have a truly great country, and I don't think we've ever had a better relationship than we have right now. And tonight we're going to have something very special in the Rose Garden. And based on all of that money we spend on all of that weather predicting equipment, they're saying no chance of rain. Let's see if that's right. If it is, we'll run right back into this room. But we're going to have a fantastic evening. And First Lady, thank you very much. You worked very hard on this. So it's not going to rain. It's going to be a beautiful evening. And great job. Really great job, honey. Thank you. Please, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Mrs. Trump, we thank you also very much for the incredibly warm and generous welcome that Jenny and I and our delegation have had here in Washington and this great home of the American presidency, and indeed your home. One of the many things that the President and I share in common is a passion for jobs, and the job performance here in the United States, the jobs that are being created in Australia, the jobs that change people's lives. You know, when people get a job, they got choices, and Australia and the United States, we're committed to creating jobs. And whether it's in trade or it's whether in looking at the future and where those jobs are going to come from, we want our people to have those economic opportunities. I commend the President on the great work he's done in creating jobs here in the United States, and we're doing the same thing in Australia. And if we want to keep creating jobs, then this partnership is a big part of that, and that's why we're pleased to come together here. We share objectives in so many areas. We share common values. We share beliefs. We've shared a wonderful century together, and now we're going to have another great century together of mateship. So thank you, Mr. President, and And thank you for the opportunity for the discussions we've had today. We are very much looking forward to the state dinner this evening. And Mrs. Trump, you're doing something special there tonight. We don't know if it's the first ever, but as the President said, perhaps the first ever. And that's just another great innovation, which is part of this wonderful visit. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. It's a great honor. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you've been negotiating with the Chinese, and there seems to be a possibility in terms of a China trade deal that they might actually offer some agricultural purchases. Is that going to be enough for you, sir,
No.
in order to get a deal done? What do you need to see at this point to get that deal past the finish line?
We're looking for a complete deal. I'm not looking for a partial deal. China has been starting to buy our agricultural product, if you noticed, over the last week, and actually some very big purchases. But that's not what I'm looking for. We're looking for the big deal. We've taken it to this level. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars of tariffs. China's devalued their currency, and they're putting out a lot of money into their economy, and they have a very bad economy right now. And I don't want them to have a bad economy, but it's the worst in, they say, 57 years. 2 weeks ago it was the worst in 22 years. Now it's 57 years, and it's only going to get worse. Their supply chain is being broken up very badly, and companies are leaving because they can't pay the 25, soon to go to 30% tariff. And we have 30% very shortly on $250 billion. We have another tariff at a slightly smaller number, as you know, on about $300 billion worth of goods and products. So they would like to do something. As you know, we're talking a little bit this week, talking a lot next week, and then top people are going to be speaking the week following. But I'm not looking for a partial deal. I'm looking for a complete deal.
You feel you need that deal before the election, sir?
No, I don't think I need it before the election. I think people know that we're doing a great job. I've rebuilt the military. Scott and I were talking about that. We spent $1.5 trillion. When I came in, our military was depleted. Frankly, we didn't have ammunition, okay? But our military was in very bad shape. We've rebuilt the military. We've got one of the strongest economies. Mike Pence actually got some, who's right here, a great vice president. He was talking yesterday, and he called me. He says, boy, these numbers, these consumer numbers are incredible. The retail numbers that came out 2 days ago that really weren't reported were really, I mean, just incredible numbers. You know that very well. That's your world. And some other numbers. We're doing very well. Our economy is very strong. And China's being